with Super Sentai having its 40th year, with the 40th Sentai, with the 2000th episode coming tomorrow from this recording. Super Sentai have a long history. Super Sentai was originally created by Shotaro Ishinomi with the Go Rangers. The Go Rangers ran it from 1975 to 1977, with 84 episodes under its belt. Eventually, it sparked the next season, Deku, which, and the original two was never had a mecha. Eventually, in Battle Fever, after Toei and Marvel worked together, they create the Battle Fever J and have a mecha and a lot of weapons. Eventually, and from this point onwards, it will be known as Super Sentai. It continued on from Gentleman, Sun Falcon, Go-Go 5, Dynaman, Bioman, Changeman, Flashman, Maskman, Lifeman, Turbo Ranger, Fiveman, Jetman, and in 1992, Sea Ranger was aired, which in US is Hansapan agreed and converted Sea Rangers into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then Die Ranger appeared, which only the White Ranger. They used the White Ranger. Eventually, they also from Kakarot Ranger or Ranger. Kakarot Ranger almost they used most every season they used are being used by Power Rangers, like Rangers for Seal and so on for off. Eventually, after its 35th anniversary with the Go-Kaiders, afterwards, 2 seasons were never aired in US. That is Go Busters and Tokuger. And now, with its 40th season, it is Super Sentai Zyuohger. Number 5, it is Decorator. Toshu Sentai Decorator. This Sentai is basically revolved into current and with its introduction. SPD, Special Police Decorators. I'm just using translator, not original, as I would be confused. 5 detective who fights each cool with burning hearts. Their mission to combat space criminals who invaded Earth. They will protect peace from all humanities. This one is, I like this season because it's both police and detective. You know, SPD have the American counterpart have a feel that never fully caught me on because, well, it's set in the future and this one is set in present, and this one when they transition or transform, they explain why they transform. Apparently, they use special particles for this one. Well, in SPD, they just use some random thing. The other things I like is they use actually this more mature, and it actually, it's for kids. They have a lot of good things. Like for mechas, the decorate or is really reckless. Is in the first few episodes. Eventually he died down, but he's still being reckless. Like in the start, he used his blade on his side of the car mecha, which is car mecha, and try to stop the villain at the start. Also, they actually have a judging system that's actually cool, and that's all for me for this one. Next, number 4, it is Enter Sentai Go Rangers. Enter Sentai Go Rangers is apparently one of the best, but it's and its first release in 2008. Basically, Machine World is is one of the 11 main world, like a backbone of worlds, and that's similar to ours. Our world is known as Human World. The Machine World have an enemy called Galak who want to take over pollute the world. Eventually, after losing in the Machine World, the three pollution ministers, basically the top 3 leaders before its super leader, escaped to Earth and tried to make it into a pollution world. But originally there was 3 entered to the human world that joined into Reckless Zyuohger, who is also a racer, Ren a bus driver, and Saki how do I put it? A girl of the team. Either a girl of the team, or you could say if she is the sales stock if you watch the first few episodes. And eventually, the 2 more came, that is Going Green and Going Black, as you can see. Hunt and Gunpei originally Hunt not wanting to, while Gunpei actually want to see how he enter, and he is actually a detective. But if you compare to RPM, the Going Red and Ranger Red, Going Red is actually is more reckless than Ranger Red, in my opinion. But this, I would say, yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Well, I actually don't for Going Blue. They have actually different stories. Like in spoilers alert, in RPM, Ranger Blue is trying to get a job before he fails and try to get this job. While in this world, Going Blue was picked, and then he was part of the team after he was picked by the engines. Going Yellow, I would say in the RPM, Ranger Yellow is rich girl, and which became the Ranger. I wonder where they used that next. Go Kai Pink. I will explain what that is later. The next one is Going Green. The difference is that in the RPM, there's the Power Ranger universe. Going Green, Ranger Green, I meant, is actually just a weird kid who actually wants to go with Ranger Black, I meant. And while for the black one, Going Black is him be a detective at the start of the story, and eventually he is afterwards. But in the RPM side, he was actually just a machine that created by the enemy. This actually, the reason I picked this is because they actually have some explanation for how it's built and why and there's a bit of comedy and serious. Pretty easy to identify if you watch it for the first time, and they actually have a good, and I like the ending of start and the end of the starting and ending themes of it, which I'm not going to play for obvious reasons. Opinion theme, if you want to know, it is in the Sentai Go Unders, and anything is the engine level, like it's just race. Now on number 3, it is Tokumen Sentai Go Busters. You wonder why I picked this? I have a few reasons. First, one of the major ones I enjoy is that there is no American counterparts. If I offend you Power Rangers fans, just don't dislike. Yes, that's my opinion. I'm not saying Power Rangers is bad. I'm just saying lately it is bad. I like some of the season. That's for another countdown list. But Tokumen Sentai Go Busters. Basically, it's a big. If you watch RPM, as I referred before, this is basically a different version. It's a more of a different version. Basically, I would read the blurb. Neo AD 2012. Massive energy source, Anitron. Basically, it's like electric power. Is the foundation of the city's function. After Faglas, that's the enemy, and that if you watch spoilers, is that it around 10 to 12 years ago, the main three actually escaped by teleporting from the Red Buster's father, as you can see here. They call it I would call it Red Ranger or Red Buster, and then only 3 of them escaped with the bideroids. Basically, it's just like robots. And this have a lot of reference to Power Rangers. One thing I don't really mind. Basically, yeah. There's a lot of reference to Power Rangers in this, more than Go Riders, which I'm gonna tell you later. Go Bust, for morphing, after they turn the brace, it's morphing time. Yeah, it sounds much better if you actually hear it, which I'm not going to play. Also, there's a few more and in the crossover between Go Busters and Go Riders, their machines actually transform into the past robots like Magic King, which is Mystic Force, or Megazord, and some other things. But there actually a reason, but I'm not going to go in details. I like this season because at the start it's silly, but in the near ending, it's before the summer drought. Like, I wouldn't count this before the summer drought. Basically, yeah. At the start they are being a bit silly but serious. In the middle, yeah, it's like they have 2 parts ending. Like the first one, the main original enemy is defeated. The second one, the enemy who appeared is the entire series, the main final enemy. It's pretty good, and I would say I would recommend this to anyone to watch, but not as original. And next to the second final. Now, at number 2, it is Super Sentai Tokiko. Or I should do the ticket impression. Super Sentai Tokiko. Super Sentai Tokiko. That was terrible, but it's close enough. Basically, it come out. This is the second season that they never used, not planning using. The reason why apparently they don't think it will be good in the market in America, but I say it's a lie. Trains are pretty useful there. It's pretty good there. Basically the plot is 5 young people, which is kids, if you want to know, travel on the Rainbow Line. Basically they've been transferred into an outlook for the entire series except the ending, but they have several problems. They often arrive in the stations that have been taken over by the evil Shadow Line. Basically, Shadow Line is basically the enemy. They can't remember anything beyond their childhood. As I said, they were transformed. Oh yes, I forgot to say the spoilers, but their childhood, can't remember because their childhood was to Eldok was never taken, and they have to find lost trains or reshas. Basically, I enjoyed this series because they use some of the idea based on its trains and imagination. Imagination. Oh, I regret doing that. Basically, each one is actually have a good personality. Tokyo Ichigo, or one, as you say, one girl here. I would use Ichigo, Nigo, Sango, Yongo, Gogo, Rokugo, and I forgot what's that. My Tokyo Yellow. Tokyo Ichigo, or no one is right, is really enthusiastic, even though and smart at times. Even though he's in the ending, spoiler alert, he turned black. I'm not saying how, for obvious reasons. Second one is Tokyo Nigo. It's basically the smart one, not the smartest. Tokyo Sango is basically one of the girls, but she's actually more of like a serious type. While Tokyo Yongo, he is basically the detective type. If you watch the series, you would know. Tokyo Gogo is basically. I'm not going to show any footages. If you're still watching about many footages, I might post up use images instead. But Tokyo Gogo is basically a cheer girl. She's actually really good. Tokyo Rokugo, well, he was originally as a villain before the series started, but he joined the rainbow line, or the good side, after he saw a rainbow. He vowed not to take over it. But the sad thing is about him is his most common line is this the place where I die, or something? There's some other. This is actually good because they at the start they have a sudden. Within the first 3 episodes, 3 to 4, there was a sudden shock, not a happy side of what happened, but they eventually forgot about that. Sorry if I spoiled that for you. They forgot about that for now, and that they become really happy, and they eventually near the end, around episode 30 onwards, he found the truth. Like, another spoiler alert, the hometown where they come from was their main enemy's headquarters, or train terminal, if you use these. Eventually they will remember who they are in the end. Hopefully I didn't spoil that for you. Number 1, Super Sentai, Go Tiger. Even though this have a Power Ranger counterpart, I would say the Power Ranger counterpart is one of the worst seasons ever. They have terrible. Either they have referenced the new powers in Power Rangers Super Mega Force. They have no explanation, or like, oh, it's just new powers. Okay, they just really bad. Don't want to edit it out. But they have good reference to why, but no good reason. Super Sentai Go Gacha have a bunch of episodes dedicated to the past. Basically, it started off as 5 teammates, kept pirate mates. It's come from space, going to Earth. Give me a second. Yeah. It started with the series with the past 34 Super Sentai teams, which is from Go Rangers to the recent Go Zyuohgers. If you watch the Japanese, or in America, it would be Power Rangers Mega Force, but Power Rangers Mega Force, I would say, is terrible in US. They have no explanation why they use that power that much. I was basically a half of it, but I would it's not. This one is not about why Power Ranger Mega Force is bad. I'm not. Basically, The 34 members sacrificed themselves to defeat the first wave of the Universal Empire Zyuohger, not the Armada. That's whole different, and they basically stole the storyline from this. Eventually, after the first wave was defeated, the second wave of them with the original first enemy major boss, they come and wanted to take over the world, but luckily, Super Sentai coyrighted arrive and knowing that they want to get the greatest treasure in the world, which I'm not going to spoil what it is ending. They would collect great powers, basically main the powers of the past Sentai, so that they can unlock new things. Like in the third episode of coyrighted, they successfully got the Magi Rangers, or Mystic Foxes if you're in US. I would say Magi Rangers, and got the dragon within the first 3 episodes. It's actually good, because they actually explain how they got the power early on. Eventually, Earthling, because all of the other members are actually aliens, it's not spoiled, but Earthling called Guy Ikari, he's a crazy Super Sentai fan. And if you watch the series within the 15th episode or 16th episode of Sentai, he gained his power through 3 past members. That is, I got no idea. My Green Ranger from Shield Ranger, I got no idea what it's called. Time Fire, or that 6th Ranger from Time Force, which I forgot. And Arbor White, or I don't know, Thunder's White Ranger. But the good news is he's successfully got it. He is actually pretty good to the team. He knows a bunch of Sentai and helps them to find a bunch of Sentai members easier than before. They have to look at crazily, not smartly. Well, it's one of them. That's an exception. Other than that, yeah. The main heroes is Captain Marvelous, Joe, Luca, Dawn, I Am, and Guy. Each one have its own backstory throughout the series. I would say within the final few episodes, the Gokai Green, Gokai Pink, and Gokai Blue have fully shown their stories. Gokai Yellow and Red shown early in the series, while Gokai Blue is throughout the series. As I said earlier, Gokai Pink is a princess. It's a spoiler alert. After her planet was destroyed by the Zyuohgers, because they're take over the universe apparently, she is found Captain Marvelous, Joe, Luca, and Dawn on a planet, and they wondered why she wanted to join. She said she wanted to join because she wanted to be on the wanted posters, and that was smart of her if you want to be on it. You know. And one thing I enjoy about this one is because it's an anniversary. They shown a lot of reference. The original Gold Ranger, also known as Accurate. Then in the first, as I continue on, Magi Red on the third, Deca Yellow, Deca Master and Deca Red in the Decorator Special, Geki Ranger, and most of them is from special, like Geki Red is from Geki Ranger Special, Gal Red, Gal Special, Shinkenger Special, Red is Car Rangers, I meant. I was thinking of Gonger, but I got it wrong. And in the movie, and all of these members are how they got the powers through. Except in the zyuohger, there was a few special exceptions in the movie. Of Zyuohger vs. Zyuohger, Super Sentai 199 Hero Great Battle. 199 is all of the Super Sentai members of that time. That's a lot. Basically, majority of its episodes are based, mainly hovering around each. It's like third one is Marty Rangers, fifth episode is Decorator, while seventh is Geki Ranger, ninth one is Gal Ranger, but in the eighth one it was leading up from episode 8. While for episode that I would guess is for Jericho, it never fully say because they actually use cards. In episode 11 and 12, it's reference to Shinkenger. In episode 14, it is Car Ranger, but there's two parts. This first part is just separate, and there's an enemy that turns good and he will appear in the DVD special as the news earlier I said. Eventually, within 15 to 19, basically it is the appearance of the original main enemy. It is the rival of Captain Marvelous or coyrighted. I'm not going to say who it is, but within these 4 to 5 episodes, it is mainly Gokai Silver appearance and his new or Gigaman, Bokenger, Gogo 5. And then in episode 24 is Car Rangers again. 25, 26 is Hurricaneer. Then 28 is Jetman. If you watch the Jetman, I'm gonna check. The ending is that Black dies, but he appears in this episode. And Guy aren't happy because he can't see it. Episode 29 is Alba Ranger. 30 Lifeman. 31 O Ranger, and it continued on 32 because of the Captain Marvel's rival. Episode 33 is Die Ranger. 35 to 36 is Gonger, which is near its ending. 39 is Mega Rangers. I would say that season was good, Mega Rangers. Episode 40 is Time Raider, which 44 is Battle Fever J. Actually, do you know in episode 40 is actually appeared in Shinkenger vs. Ghost Sagers. Then 35 to 36 is Keka Ranger, and then in the final episodes, Countdown to Disaster, I made that reference to Power Rangers by accident, and it is 47 to 51. I would say this is one of the best seasons because it have a lot of good reference, and it's one of the good starting points for newbies. I now would hope to see you on the next news. I will see you later. Evel out.